Okay, we are now joined by our 2023 NASCAR Cup Series champion, and that is Ryan Blaney. Ryan still has a long night of media ahead of him, so we're going to get as many questions as we can with him, but if I don't get to you, I apologize in advance. If you have a question, please raise your hand. I'll get you a mic, and we'll start with Jordan.
Jordan Bianchi, The Athletic. What did you take from last year's playoff and other playoffs that you applied to really the last few weeks, particularly in Martinsville, particularly today?
Yeah, I mean, we had a good shot to get here last year, and I made mistakes, at Vegas and Miami that kept us out, and that was pretty brutal, for me, for our whole group, right? Whenever you are the one personally making those mistakes, you take it the harshest, right? But everyone on the 12 group supported me really well, and we just kind of set into, hey, what do we need to do to get better, right? Where are the areas we need to get better? And we did that over the off season and was able to get here this year. So I think we learned a lot from last year from multiple sides.
This also, I talked to your dad, and he said you kind of had some conversations about some things and how to kind of maybe manage things and that kind of thing. I'm wondering from your perspective what those conversations were like from the lessons from last year and this year.
Yeah, Dad's right there. He came with the media center with me. He's taking no questions though. No, I mean he's been awesome, right? I mean he's been not only someone I grew up, wanting to be like and wanting to do his sport. Obviously getting me started in racing, supporting me along the way, opened a lot of doors for me. And then for him to still be supportive, when I'm an adult is great. So he's been, he went on. His whole thing was like through the playoffs was, I see the path. I can see the path to the championship. I can see it. And after we won Martinsville, he's like, it's lit up now. The path is lit up. And I think we drove through the gate tonight. So we have arrived. So it's just cool to have my whole family here, which was very special.
Go to Shane and then Dustin.
Shane Connick, Charlotte Observer. Ryan, after you won at Charlotte earlier this year, you talked about your confidence level and how important, that win was, obviously snapping the skid and all that. How much of a turning point do you think that was, as obviously you went on to have this incredible playoff run that you had?
Yeah, I think winning the 600 was huge for our organization. For multiple reasons. It was big for me, right? Kind of getting out of that slump after not winning for a little bit, and it was definitely good. But honestly, I got asked earlier about this. I think the big, shot in the arm was winning Talladega in the playoffs. Our team we struggled through the summer months after the 600, and we worked really hard to try to get better and better. And our team was teetering on just needing little something good to happen, and then we're going to be full on dangerous. And we won Talladega, and it was green light, let's go. We're really in a good mood here, and I think that's what kind of set the rest of our playoffs off to where they are now. And so I think both of those wins were huge, but I personally think Talladega was like a big shot in the arm right in the middle of the playoffs that really got us going.
Thanks, Ryan.
We'll go to Dustin on the left here, and then in the back to Jeff.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Couple questions. You talked recently just about, Chase winning his championship and feeling good for a friend. Now that you get the opportunity and you're tied with him and that he came up to the stage, what does that mean? And what did he say, or what did you guys share up there?
Yeah, it means a ton. I remember being there and going up to the stage in 2020 when he won his, and just being super proud for him. Right, Chase and I have known each other and raced each other for a couple decades, and it's pretty special to share something with like that with somebody, a close friend like that, and for him to show me all the support this week was really neat, as well for me, of him kind of checking in on me, seeing how I was doing, right, because he's been here a couple times, and so yeah, to have him up on stage was special. I'm gonna enjoy that picture of he and I with the trophy, and but no, he's been an amazing friend to me, great competitor, and it's cool to have that championship that we can share now. When we were kids, when we started racing together, we never would have thought, right, we'd be here and have a championship apiece, and it's really cool to share that with somebody.
Also, you can remember 5 years ago when the marketing campaign came out that promoted the young drivers, and now that was kind of a somewhat controversial among some of the competitors. to go from where you guys were in the spotlight at that point, the question was, hey, these guys hadn't deserved it yet, maybe the attention, to now where you've got a championship, Chase has got a championship, the youngest championship field. What has that journey been like, and how, that over that 5-year period to get to from that marketing campaign to fulfilling what it was kind of promoting?
Well, I think it's nice to kind of have fulfilled that, because like you said, at the time I do remember that, if these guys haven't earned this marketing stuff, but it's nice to kind of be able 5 years later to have a couple of us that have won a championship that kind of solidifies well, okay. I mean, at the time, right, they're just pushing younger drivers, right? I mean, they're just trying to promote the younger guys, and yeah, some guys got a little hurt about that, but it's nice that these younger drivers, the newer guys, are succeeding in their own way and being able to have championships and wins, and for a fan base to kind of grow up with that that driver of who's in their mid-20s, late 20s, right? It's something I think people can latch on to. So obviously now it's easy for me to look back at that marketing campaign and be like, wow, they knew what they were doing. But you never know how it's going to work. But no, it's 5 years ago. I mean, I never would thought we'd be sitting here right now, but it seems like they had a little knowledge of where they thought each of us were going to go.
Go to Jeff in the back, and then Jen up here.
Hey, Ryan, I'm all the way in the back here. You've always been known as somebody that says yes to a lot of things that NASCAR asks, media opportunities and things like that. But now you're going to have a whole different opportunity with the NASCAR championship behind you and saying, hey, we can put you in all sorts of places. How would you like to use sort of this newfound platform to move the sport forward as champion?
Yeah, I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. I'm excited to have those opportunities. I really look forward to facing them head on, and I feel like as if you get the privilege to be a champion of your sport, it is part of your job to promote your sport and do the best you can to be the best champion that you can. So that's the responsibility. I'm be honest with you, I haven't really thought about yet. I think that's going to kind of dawn on me in the following days. But no, I think it's part of your job to kind of, hey, embrace it, push the sport. You have this awesome platform now to where you've done something incredible. Use that, right, and promote the sport. So I'm excited to see what happens this offseason, see what comes up to where, you're not only growing yourself, you are growing the sport as well of NASCAR. Someone asked me earlier, the Netflix deal that's happening right now, I've worked with them a lot through the playoffs, and they've gotten a lot of inside stuff, and I think that's just another big thing of, promoting the sport in a positive way to a certain audience or a brand new audience. So,
Jenna?
Jennifer, AP, congratulations. I got a long question for you. You came in yesterday and we joked about how you're always even-keeled, and then many of us thought you were racing Ross Chastain a little unnecessarily hard there. Ross says you got mad at him and ran in the back of him on purpose, and Larson and Byron said that that's pretty common of you to lose your temper like that, and Roger said that you tend to boil over, you pass boiling point, and that's not an even-keeled Ryan Blaney that we all know about. So you got a secret dark side out there? And also we were specifically told by Roger to ask you about the beard.
I guess to answer your first question, there's no secret that I can snap on the radio. I mean, that's been my whole life. I mean, that's been my whole career. I mean, it's just kind of what something I do. The fact that Ross said I raced him hard, I mean, the dude blocked 3 lanes, getting in the corner every lap. I mean, I don't know how I'm racing him hard. When you're looking in your mirror and you're going left and right and left and just following wherever I go, I don't understand how he thinks I'm racing him hard. He's just backing me up to the 5, so I have to go. I mean, he's backing me up to Larson to where I'm going to be in trouble. Well, fucking right, I hit him on purpose. I mean, yeah. Yes, I hit him on purpose. He blocked me on purpose 10 times. So, yeah, I hit him on purpose. I mean, what do you expect me to do? He's backing me up to the other championship guy, and I got to go. I mean, we were just racing hard, but did I think he was over excessive on the blocks? Yes, very much so. And, yes, did I hit him? Yes, I did. But that's just part of it. Yeah. What else do you want to know? The beard? Yeah. It's here. No, we didn't talk about that. I'll shave it off next year for sure, but it's a little playoff beard, so it's a little different. Yeah, I think that means he wants me to shave it. And it will get shaved. It'll get shaved. Just give me a couple months. Yeah.
Okay, we'll go to Davey, then Lee, then Kelly.
Davey Siegel with SiriusXM in the back to your left, Ryan. You talked about peaking at the right time a few times this week, right? And there was a while in the summer where you guys were down, Penske was down, Ford was down, obviously, and now Ford has won all 3 championships. Was there a point that you got down on yourself as well and thought, okay, maybe this just isn't the year, or did you always kind of keep the faith and think that you guys were capable of getting this hot right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is easy to get down, but I mean, we won Charlotte in May, and then we just had like a string of bad runs, in the 2 or 3 months, and that was kind of across the board. And then, when RFK started running well, Buescher won those 3 races, Brad started running really good. It's like, all right, well, it's there. It's the speed and the Fords are out there. These guys found it. What are we missing? We took that as a challenge. Okay, these guys have figured out a way to make what we thought was an uncompetitive car winning cars. So we can't blame that anymore. So let's just go to work. So I didn't really ever have that thought in the summer months, even when we were struggling. Right? You just try to do the best you can of giving information on where we need to be better. Whether that's from an engine side, aero side, setup side, you just try to do the work, and you understand that this sport you're going to be, on top for a little while, and then other teams are going to find something. You're going to go to the bottom for a little while. You just have to keep working hard, and that's what I love about this group is they don't ever, get down on themselves. They just do the work and they just figure it out, and that's what they did, and. So I never had a doubt in them. I mean, there was a lot of tough conversations. It was like, hey, we gotta do something, or we're not going to be competitive at all in the playoffs. And everyone jumped on the opportunity to dig down deep, and that's what they did, and wound up here.
Kelly?
SpencerCatchfence.com. Congratulations, Ryan.
Thanks.
What does this mean to the Blaney legacy? Because, when you think about your past, your family's past, the championships that they've accrued, to get to that point and now be part of that championship legacy, how cool is that for you?
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, just coming from a racing family in general, right? Grandfather Lou winning a bunch, championships around, the Northeast, and Dad being the Outlaw champion, Dale winning the All-Star championship, and now for me to kind of add some asphalt into there is pretty good, because that's what I grew up doing. But just special, and I, growing up around the racetrack, watching, Jimmy and Jeff and Tony, Mark Martin, I loved those guys, and I saw them win championships and wanted to be that way, and for it to come full circle is very special. So yeah, I mean, I couldn't think of a better spot of my family being here, and them able to witness it, because, they are just as much a part of it as I am. And not only my dad, my mom sacrificed more than you could imagine to make sure I could get to every race and do what I needed to do to get going. And I have 2 awesome sisters that support me. So it's pretty special to have them here.
Okay, we'll go Kelly, then Nate, then Jerry.
Kelly Crandall, Racer.com. Ryan, I got 2 for you. First off, you've been hounded in the past. I'm guilty of it, of asking you about trying to get through the playoffs, trying to get through the round of 8 in particular. How nice is it not only to have made this championship 4, but to do it the first time and get a championship out of the way?
Yeah, out of the way. No, it's nice to make our first Final Four. Obviously, that was like the main goal this year. It's something we haven't done, and to achieve that last week, it's like, all right, great, that's awesome. Check that one off, and then. I mean, it's just a double whammy that we get to come here and win the championship as well. I mean, just super proud of everybody. And, it all happened, was it like Chase and Kyle did the same thing? Their first Champ 4, they won the championship. I think they did. So it's nice to, come here and be 1 for 1. So hopefully we can continue to build off of this and be able to have more shots here at Phoenix to where we can contend as well.
where do you feel like your place is now at Team Penske? Roger has said, I don't want to have 1, 2, 3, 4 drivers in the pecking order. But he admitted that, like I think some others would look at you, when you came into Team Penske and you're going against Joey and Brad, who are making multiple championship round appearances and winning championships, you were the third guy. You were the other Penske driver. So having a championship now, where do you feel like that puts you in this organization? Does that even matter to you?
I don't really think it matters to me very much. I mean, and yeah, RP's always done an amazing job of like, there's not like a number 1, number 2, number 3 driver, right? But personally, as a driver, right, when you're not winning as many races as, Brad and Joey, when I came into it, you feel like that, right? The number 3 driver or number 2 driver now, but, and that's just like a personal like mindset, right? The drivers get. But now I think, Joey's got 2, I have 1. So it's like, still like a 0.5% down of him. But no, I mean, we have a great group over there. Joey's been fantastic to work with. Austin's awesome, and Harrison's fantastic as well. So I just enjoy driving for amazing people like Team Penske folks and Mr. Penske, Walter, Bud Danker, Jonathan Gibson, Tim Cinder. I mean, they're all amazing to me. Mike Nelson, and it's just fun to be there. I really couldn't imagine myself anywhere else. They've been fantastic to me for over 10 years, and hopefully I get to spend another at least 10 more over there.
Nate Ryan, NBC Sports. I've got two, too. I'm going to set you off probably with another Ross question. He also said that Ryan could run second and win the championship. He did it last year. He can do it again. So with everything that was at stake, like what made you feel like you still had to get that position? I mean, did it cross your mind that I could just kind of ease back a little bit and still win the championship?
Yeah, I mean, the thing at the time was he was struggling, and the 5 is catching us. So he's going to continue to struggle, and the 5 is going to be there before the race is over. I mean, that was my urgency. Like, I can't have this guy back me up to the 5. So that was my sense of urgency, is I got to get in front of him so he doesn't back me up to the 5 who I'm racing. So, yeah, it's easy to say, like, oh, you just run second, but you never know if that thing goes green. And then the 5's there, and then your championship is kind of dwindled away. So
you talked about how last year, round of 8, I think it was Vegas, Homestead, those mistakes kind of just devastated you. And I know you said you did some work in the off season. Can you give us a little more insight into, like, who helps you find that chill in the cockpit? Who have you been working with, or who has kind of guided you to kind of find that focus?
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, it was something we talked about a lot, between me and Jonathan and kind of internally with myself, and just trying to figure out. It's like, all right, it's not fun pointing out things that you do poorly, right? And like it's not fun pointing out flaws about yourself, but it's important to do to try to work on. Like you're bad here, you do a terrible job at this. It's hard admitting those things to yourself internally, but like if they're holding you back, you have to address those problems. And I think I just kind of finally like had a realization. It's like you got to really get better at this if you expect to go forward in your career. Like you have to do this, and you have to be smarter during races. You have got to think about the bigger picture. It's not only about being fast. You have to evolve yourself to be a more well-rounded racer. And it was a lot of conversation with myself internally, honestly. And so, yeah, just I don't know. I think that gets easier as you get older. You kind of get more mature and just try to take things a little bit easier and be a little bit more thoughtful about how you approach things. So
we'll go to Jerry and then Dustin Albino.
Jerry Jordan, kickingthetires.net, over to your left. You got out of the car and you said you're not an emotional guy, but obviously that weighed on you to win this championship, everybody being here. When does this really sink in, and is it safe to say that this is the greatest moment of your racing career?
Yeah, I'm not a very emotional guy, and I did tear up on the last lap a little bit in the helmet, just thinking about a lot of stuff. I was a little sobbing baby on the radio after the race. I could barely speak. Just thinking about everything. Proud of everybody. It's been a long career in motorsports, Yeah, I don't know, just kind of overcome with emotion. I mean, if you try to do something for a long time, you're overcome with it, and it's just kind of part of it. So, what was the second question you asked? Oh, by far. I mean, but this tops everything, right? This is what you dream of as a kid. This is what you strive for. This is what you run 35 races a year for, to get to this moment, to have a shot at the championship, and then you have to run a perfect race to get it. So, oh yeah, definitely huge moment, not only for me, I mean, everybody involved in it. It's way bigger than I am, and I can't thank those folks enough for doing what they do.
Go Dustin, then Alan.
Dustin Albino, J.Ski Reiner here. As a crew chief, Hassler ascended to the top of the sport really quickly, just 2 full-time seasons. What makes him, or what traits make him such a good leader?
Yeah, I mean, when Hassler's been fantastic. I mean, he's such a good guy, and he and I's personality are pretty similar. So when, Todd Gordon told me he was retiring after 2021, it's like, all right, they gave me a lot of kind of leeway to pick, who I wanted. And Jonathan, I had my eye on because he crew chiefed the 21 car for the last half of the year in 21 and did a great job. And he's been around Penske for a long time. And, he and I just kind of went out one night and had dinner and just talked. And I really enjoyed how our conversations went and our personality meshed. And I knew he was a smart guy, and being able to work with him through the winter, of 21 into the new car. He's done a fantastic job. And, he was an engineer, so it's hard to go from an engineering role straight into crew chiefing. You're managing and you're leading 15 guys, and you're trying to keep them pumped up, and you're also think about setups with the engineers. You're trying to pump up the pit crew guys. You're trying to tell the mechanics what to do. It's like that role is tough to jump into, and it took him a little while to kind of get comfortable with that. But this year, it's kind of like what, internally I went to myself last year of what I can do better. He and I had the talks of like, hey, what can we both do better to make this more of a leadership role and for you to get more comfortable, and he embraced it. He's been fantastic to our whole group, and gosh, it's been fun. Been fun to work with him. He's just an awesome guy, and cool to have a really fun year with him.
Go to Alan and then Cole.
Alan Cavana. Ryan, congratulations. Can you just take us through the nuts and bolts of that final run? You come off pit road, and all of a sudden there's the challenge of now you got to get your spot back. You got to beat Kyle Larson. What goes through your head in terms of setting your mind up and what you have to do in those last run?
Yeah, I mean, I was bummed we lost. Or we didn't really have a bad pit stop. Those guys just had lightning fast stops, and it's like, man, well, that kind of stinks. But then you just immediately shift to, all right, this is the task. Like, this is my new job. This is what we have to do. And I think getting around the 24 early was huge, right? To where I didn't have to pass 2 of them. It just let me set my sights on Kyle, and was able to get a pretty good run there and get to his outside. When he got to the apron, it looks like he almost spun out getting to the apron, trying to not let me get to his bottom, and I thought we were gonna possibly wreck off a 2, but it was tight. But no, it's just hard racing between 2 guys. I have a ton of respect for Kyle, and so it's fun to race him for the the championship like that. Obviously, his pedigree in racing is massive, and his talent is endless, and to be able to go toe to toe with him like that was pretty great.
And one of the first things you said over the radio to Roger was, thanks for giving me a shot. It's one thing to drive for Roger Penske. You've now won him a championship. What's that journey been like, since you first got that call?
I mean, I just look back, over 10 years and how it kind of all came through, and that would never have thought, 10 years ago I'd be here today. Just was lucky to be able to have an opportunity to drive for a team like Team Penske and work with such great people, from the Xfinity side to the Cup side, to be able to drive for the Wood Brothers, for a couple of years. Honestly, and I haven't said it, and I'm ashamed of myself for not saying it, Brad Keselowski was a huge piece of getting me in there, was a massive piece of, driving their Xfinity program. I drove his trucks for a couple of years. I mean, Brad was a huge connecting piece, and me being a part of the Penske group. So I can't thank him enough. It was a lot of fun seeing him after the race. He came to the stage. That meant a lot to me because, like I said, he was a huge part of my career. So, but yeah, just you want to drive for amazing people, and I've been really lucky to do that. From Brad to the Wood Brothers to Penske, it's been a dream come true.
Cool.
Cole Kusaman with Arizona Republic. Congrats, Ryan. Alan got to my my initial question, so I'll ask this: 3 straight runner-up finishes at Phoenix. Is that frustrating for you? And I guess does this sort of kind of make up for that?
I don't give a shit about running second 3 times.
Very nice.
Not now. I don't care.
Okay, Ryan, we will let you go on that one.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.